Good day, greetings to everyone. Yes, today I have a presentation about the new payment method. We will talk in general about this method, discuss the legal basis of this instant payment system. We will talk in general about Ukraine, the Ukrainian payment system. Have you even heard of a transparent network? Have you heard anything? I just see masters and professors of the payment market. I know they have heard. As for others, those in Zaiti haven't heard yet. Thank you. About SEP, the Ukrainian electronic payment system, Ukrainian, our central bank, the national one, is launching. Well, let's begin. The global market, I will tell you what it's about. Most P2P goes through local solutions. In Ukraine, they go through Visa and MasterCard. We transfer money using Visa and MasterCard. We thank them for this opportunity. SEPA Instant is a European payment system. It is organized as a system of non-opposition, as an analog of Visa and MasterCard for transfers through IBAN when switching to FIBAN account numbers. The European Union to Cartom has united, creating a uniform account for all countries. We have also implemented it and are also transitioning to these settlements. So we are not yet connected to SEPA Instant as Ukraine, but we are moving in this direction and we will have it soon. The aliases used are phone numbers, meaning you find a person by their phone number and make a transfer to them. Next is the route that is used. Visa and MasterCard can also use a phone number and you can also transfer it. Local banks internally also do it by phone number if you use, for example, Monobank there. It's easy to find a person by phone number and transfer money to them. Thank you. That's how it looks around the world. If you find familiar logos, everything on top is covered by Swift. Everyone knows what Swift is. But Swift is very expensive. Swift is not very fast. It is also being transformed to the new ISO standard, but it hasn't been implemented yet. Well, Swift is more corporate like that. A payment method. A transparent network. What is it? Firstly, it is a voluntary association of banks. There is no legal entity that would say the transparent network is mine. I dictate the rules. I understand who the participants are. I decide who the participants are. I accept or do not accept them. I set some obstacles for the participants, or I give some advantages to those who join the transparent network. The transparent network is a voluntary association of banks. Who does it unite? Primarily, it unites the payment infrastructure, which means banks. Secondly, it unites financial companies that provide certain services. Currently, we are working with the company City24, the company Phoenix, if you know it. Well, the City24 brand, you've all heard of it. What do we have? We already have it. That is, the number of banks is increasing. We have already gone into production. There aren't many. It's not all banks. We still don't have some of the very large banks because they make decisions very slowly. Therefore, medium and small banks have joined. There are usage scenarios that cover P2P, merchant transactions, and internet transactions. Internet acquiring, UX, and the value of offers for customers. We are testing all of this. I will explain it. Then you will see how it works. Everything is very convenient. Everything is very fast. The foundation used is SEP 4.1, which is developed by the National Bank. This is the basis of a transparent network used as a payment infrastructure in terms of money transfers, as well as a legal model, because SEP has its own rules. These have been approved by the National Bank, and we use them as a rule of settlement. That is, all banks comply with SEP, are subordinate to it, and we also subordinate to it. We use it. Instant processing of informational messages. Standards 100-222. Currently, the payment system of Ukraine is transitioning to this standard. Several banks have already implemented it. It is already in use. It is also called SEP Instant Payments, where payments indeed take 2 to 5 seconds. Banks that have already joined are using them. Some banks have not yet joined. MTB Bank is in the process of joining. It needs to be done there. modifications with the ABS so that we can receive and send these payments. This is a significant step forward in terms of payment infrastructure because we will truly be able to transfer money through our own Ukrainian system. In 2 seconds or make payments. If you see a common model there based on cooperation between banks, well, this is the foundation of a transparent network because decisions made in a transparent network are joint. They are reached by consensus. That is, there are no banks that are against or the decision is accepted by the majority or everyone agrees or the decision is sent back for revision. So, as of today, I am the project coordinator, but my authority is not infinite. It ends in April, and I will pass it on to the next bank. The next bank will be the project coordinator, which approves the decisions. Currently, I am the one approving them. In April, it will be the next bank. How does it? Well, I already mentioned a bit. There are banks. There are merchants. We already have merchants connected. We already have the state helping us with this. We already have donors and sponsors who are helping with the development of this system because it is sovereign, independent. It is not corporate. So we are gladly helped with this by large companies, not companies, organizations. Help. What connections are there? We search by phone number and IBAN. This is Elias who finds it in the bank system. By phone number, it finds the client's IBank. And IBank is a payment instrument through which the transfer is made. The protocol for merchants is a standard QR code, which is registered in a transparent network for protection. The main problem with the QR code, if you know, is that a payment QR code is very easy to counterfeit. Just stick another sticker and the money will go not to the merchant, but to someone else. Exactly. The QR code of the transparent network is registered in the transparent network, so there is verification that this QR code is valid and not someone else replaced it. The common brand, this is our creation, a small design. As you know, it doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to the transparent network. Well, and the P2P, e-commerce, in-store regulations, we can display the QR code on any solution. It can be a POS terminal, even with a small screen. It can be a self-service terminal. We are now starting a pilot project to introduce QR codes in self-service terminals. Information exchange via SIP 4.1 according to ISO 222. This is instant payments. And settlements through the NBU, electronic payment system, settlements through banks' correspondent accounts. So it's a standard situation. Just as all banks settle among themselves, so do the settlements occur through the transparent network. Yes, payments clearing. I've almost explained all of this. Throughout the day, clients make payments, and then the clearing happens like this. If my client paid a merchant of another bank, during the day, I see that I need to make a transfer from my IBAN and my correspondent account to that bank. Currently, we do this for each transfer. Then we will switch to clearing. And in the evening, we will just do settlement clearings. Do it. When they are not like this, clearing will be. Now it's gross clearing, so it will be net clearing. The legal model, I've almost explained this. It's interesting. We have a consortium agreement signed, which is a joint activity agreement between banks that ensures interaction. And again, approves certain communication regulations. This is not a payment system rule that requires registration with the national bank where interaction is prescribed, where it is outlined. Technical protocols are just regulations because of how the payment method is used. CP 441 is a very complex agreement because it is a joint activity. We don't have someone who decides everything. That is, there is no leader who will say it will be like this. So joint activity requires, first of all, very considerate towards your partners, because it's necessary to find compromises in some conflicts, and it requires that we all must make decisions unanimously. There is no such thing as someone disagreeing. If you disagree, we look for a new solution. Well, because in banks, the implementation varies sometimes depending on the fact that the transparent network provides one implementation. even though it is very simple, very easy, and not very costly. But in banks, well, there are some changes. Thus, interaction in the consortium, well, this is already explained. Yes, I will also add that we involve volunteer testers because this project is commercial. It brings profit to the banks. But from the perspective of the transparent network, we do not have any income that we can use for our own activities. That is, the joint activity agreement does not have income or any profit that we can use for advertising or something else. Everyone invests in their own system. Everyone invests in their own interaction. And as for testing and everything else, we involve people who help us with the support of sponsors, with the help of the Association of Banks of Ukraine, the independent NABU, with the development of this system. And market research, we involve advertisers who research the market and help us with NPS, with surveys. Overall, with the promotion of this project further. P2P transfers, zero-age revenues through a transparent network. Why? Because it is necessary for the system to start working. P2P is the most common method. Acquiring and commercial transactions usually require some expenses on the part of merchants. Integration, any small, even integration. It's difficult for them, so they don't enter the system as eagerly as simple users. If it's zero, then you don't feel any delay, no expenses for this transfer. It's zero for simple users. Everyone who has already implemented the application on their mobile already provides this opportunity to clients. Thank you. What else is there? Well, I already mentioned QR codes of new phones and deep links. If it's an online payment from a mobile phone, a deep link comes from the merchant to your banking app, which then processes it through the bank. For us, it's a very simple story. That is, you press. Deep links open the app and the payment opens immediately. You press confirm, or you can choose another card. If you need to select a card and check the balance on the card. These are drafts. Not everyone has it like this, but almost everyone does. This is how our developer is. It is entered here. You choose what is available, the phone number, and so on. That is, 4 screens are the maximum for this calculation. QR code is already there. How does it work? If someone has encountered the QR code development project from the NBU, it is very old. And it already has the rules for forming this QR code. It's a very similar story. The only thing is that this QR code is registered specifically in the system of a transparent network for the authentication of this QR code. Just point it there, you point it, and immediately everything is paid. They only confirm the payment as a prepayment order, as a prepayment process, as a prepayment time, prepayment process, as a prepayment inside, with a standard payment. I work in internet banking. Now we are launching with the company CT24 QR codes on PTKS, meaning you can pay from PTKS with a card if needed, because NFC readers are expensive. They require certification. For PTKS, it's quite costly. Solution for ATMs, it's cheaper, but you can also use QR on an ATM. If you know the Polish payment system BLIK, it uses QR codes on ATMs very well. There are many payments. It works for them. For retailers, it can be a QR code or on the screen. You know, retailers, grocery stores really like to display a screen so you can see the prices of what you're buying on the screen. Basically, now the point of sale terminals are on Android. So it's very easy to display this QR code directly on Android. So you turn the terminal, there's a QR code, you take a picture and pay. Yes, well, and the mobile app is already integrated. It's simple. This is how it looks. We have 3 screens like this. I definitely have 3 screens. In the mobile app, yes, you point, scan, confirm the payment, just select the card. At the bottom, and the payment is directed. It is immediately confirmed by the transparent network as successful or unsuccessful. Well, successful. It is confirmed, and then your bank initiates protocols for debiting your funds from the account and sending them to the merchant. If it's within the same bank, it takes less than a second. If it's through SEPA, then it depends on whether the bank is connected to SEPA 4.1, whether the bank is connected to SEPA 4. Is it an instant payment or a regular payment? Yes. The commission for the merchant is 0.5%. Of this, 0.4% goes to the client's bank, which is the initiator of the transfer. Here we are doing a bit of non-standard wording. Issuer or acquirer. There is no such thing here because there is no issuer as such. We use IBAN, which is opened by the bank. This is the payment initiator, the initiator's bank. 0.4% goes as a commission to the initiating bank. 0.1% to the merchant's bank. It's very simple and is shared between the banks. This is also, if compared, the issuers are interchange. This is the Ukrainian commission. Advantages. We focused some on these payments and some advantages that you see. First, and most importantly, entry into the project is very cheap. That is, you only need to sign an agreement to become a participant in the project, agree to some regulations of our interaction, and then implement the project in your mobile application. So you saw 4 and 3 screens. It's a very simple process. Setup, clearing. There are no fees for the project, no fees for audits or anything like that. PCI DSS is not required. It's beneficial for micropayments because there is no minimum fee that we collect per transaction. It simply doesn't exist. If you pay 8 hryvnias, you will pay 0.5 and 0.4 will be returned. Well, and the national SAP infrastructure provides an understanding that it won't break. The national bank, us, I don't know, thank the developers, thank the IT, thank those who carried out this reform. It is very reliable for us, and we are very happy to have such a payment system that was ahead of the whole world by several years. Now we are catching up a bit with them, but we are ahead of the planet. Payment security, because the system operates on blockchain, it registers the transaction. The transaction is either confirmed or not confirmed, and then the money is transferred. This is all very fast. Happens. If the transaction is confirmed, there will be no dispute, no panaras or arbitration. Further arbitration may occur with the merchant because the merchant might not provide the goods. It's all very simple there. On the ledger, it's immediately visible whether the transaction went through or not. It's very easy to search for it there. And the UX is unified. There are no complex processes. It's very easy to make a standard payment for the client that everyone will understand. I will talk about this further. This is an ad, if it plays now. It's a funny advertisement. We conducted a promotion returning 200 hryvnias for every 1,000 hryvnias paid for utilities with the operator City24. A little louder.
With the introduction of IBAN, everything for the comfort of your money.
And this lower one, what's this exactly?
It works. Paid for utilities BAM, and 200 hryvnias returned to the account. So why are you looking? Look for a convenient payment method in your bank's app to transfer from account to account through a transparent network.
It really works. We, as a bank, are now the settlement bank to pay out this cashback. I constantly sign the registers for the payment of these cashbacks. When we launched in February, no one believed it yet, like how it's 200 hryvnias for 1,000. But then the payments started coming in and people began to split their payments, especially when someone had 4,000 hryvnias for electricity. They made 4 payments of 1,000 each to get 200 hryvnias back. Everything is fair, meaning it was paid out, are happening. User feedback. We were very interested in whether they would understand what it is because despite our financial inclusion, it's difficult for clients. Paying utilities, pensioners, they have difficulty understanding mobile apps. We understood that this would be an obstacle, but, well, we tried. These are the responses you see. profitable, fast, convenient 40%. Because we really need to choose a different payment method if the client is working from a screen. Of a laptop or computer, then there's nothing to do there. They already have a card tokenized in some wallet, for example, or something else. So here we needed a QR, it had to be scanned. We noticed some errors, corrected them, and it became more convenient. This is Vic, as you can see here. Only 9% needed to figure out how to do it. Help was really needed. And more often in the bank employees helped with these payments. Did any technical problems arise? There were technical problems. We won't hide that. But for most payments, they went through normally. The technical problems were not related to the transparent network, most often, but with the bank's ABS systems. When they didn't process as quickly because financial monitoring needs to be done and all terrorists need to be checked, we require all of this. And so sometimes there were technical, these weren't problems, these were technical, that pauses. But then the payment went through and everything was okay. Well, and again, they say yes, 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 some no, because they didn't like it, because they were used to working differently.
And I apologize, 1 more minute or 2 max.
We are finishing, yes. Let me remind you again what this is about. A transparent network is about the NBU as the foundation and SEP 4.1 as the payment basis. The unification of banks is about interaction. Businesses and merchants are what we work for, to develop business, to grow the economy. We reduce costs, facilitate payments. End users, these are all our beloved citizens. What else is this about? This system, it's about the sovereignty of Ukraine, no matter what. When the full-scale invasion began in 2022, we all saw the risks of what would happen. If something disappears, what did we not even think about? Electricity. What will happen if electricity goes out? What will happen if Visa or MasterCard disappears? This is precisely one of the factors why it's necessary to develop our own Ukrainian payment system. This is sovereignty. We are not dependent on anyone. Our national bank is not biased. It works for everyone. A transparent network, it is not an owner. It is not owned by anyone. No specific person is the owner. It works for all banks that have joined. Finances are clearly understood and organized. The settlement is carried out with the help of another player who is independent of the transparent network. Well, and the end users, I hope they will receive. Also, there are a few more cashbacks, these promotions that we will be implementing with other merchants. I invite everyone, join or test. Banks that want to contact me, I will help you with the connection and with the technical project. Thank you all. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Illya. We suggest moving the questions to... Are there any questions?
Irina, I want to ask a question.
Let's have one question and then move on.
Thank you, Illya. Irina Petrova, IMO Association. I had 2 questions, but I asked the second one at our conference on April 23rd about the end consumers. Well, that is, the project's economics are clear. You've shown everything, why it's beneficial for banks, why it's beneficial for merchants. How do you plan to actually accustom us, the end consumers, to payments specifically via QR? Because in Ukraine, it's actually very developed. We are all very accustomed to payments by phone, watch, card. That's already like old school, right? Why should we switch to these payments? What does the transparent network offer to end consumers to reorient them? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's a matter of popularization, how to popularize it. This is primarily through businesses, through merchants who will provide such a payment method. And of course, as you have seen, it is cheaper than the usual card-based or transfer to IBAN. It is cheaper than most transfers. Therefore, primarily, it's the merchants. Secondly, our popularization as a banking association. We will also conduct advertising campaigns for customers. Probably yes. Next is convenience. We are still setting up convenience. Screens are changing. It will be more convenient. And then it's the economy, pure economy. Thank you. Thank you for the answers and for your presentation. Let's give another round of applause.